After watching today's video, you're gonna know everything you need to know about Firebreak in order to start off in a very smooth way and progress in the game without being confused and essentially just enjoying the process much more. I'm gonna give you guys all the information you need about classes, loadouts, skills, elements, difficulties. I've been playing this game non-stop at max difficulty, doing solo runs. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So let's get right into it. So as you get into the game, you're gonna see loadout, customization, requisitions, and research. Let's start off with loadout here. And this is essentially where you're gonna find your classes. In Firebreak, you're gonna have 3 classes at the moment, which is Fix Kit, Jump Kit, and Splash Kit. And all of these are very different from each other. But in general, for example, the Fix Kit is more of the melee-oriented class. Then you have Jump Kit, which is the more crowd control / damage-oriented class. And then you have Splash Kit as well, which is more of a support healer class. The first class we're going to be talking about is going to be the Fix Kit, which is also the melee class in this game, right? So you're gonna have a wrench, which is both there for dealing melee damage, and on top of that, you can fix things. As soon as you see a target in the game that has the wrench symbol on it, the cool thing is with this class, you can run up to it, hit it with the wrench, and it starts getting fixed very, very quickly. Now, if you had any other class and you saw the wrench sign on one of these items in the game, you wouldn't be able to fix it up so quickly. You would have to run up to it and then play this mini game that is very similar to the mini games that we play in Helldivers 2, where you have to press the correct arrows to move forward with said mini game. Right here it's Q and E, and you have to just jump between these two, and eventually you will fix this item. But with the melee class, you just slap them around a few times and boom, it's done. Okay, it is a very effective way to fix items in general, and the melee is actually pretty good. Now you also have 2 super abilities with every class. With this one, you have the swivel cannon, which you're going to be dropping an item on the ground, and then you got to hit it with your melee hits essentially, and it will build up into a cannon, which then shoots the enemies. Now, in my opinion, this is the more weaker abilities when it comes to the super / ultimate abilities of the classes in general, but sometimes it can be helpful. Then you also have the other ultimate ability, which enhances your melee hits, right? So you pick up this piggy bank, you attach it to your melee. Then once you hit an enemy, as you guys can see, it summons this cool tornado, right? That deals a lot of damage. And then the cool thing is you're able to do that a few times until your super runs out. So once you build around it, it's actually really, really fun to use. Now you also have a dash on the right mouse. You just have to hold it down, and as long as you have stamina, you're going to be dashing through the enemies. Once again, there's a bunch of cool things you can do with these abilities overall, and we're going to talk about the skills and the weapons here in a minute. So yeah, that is going to be more of your melee class. Then you have the Jump Kit. Now the Jump Kit is more, as I said, a crowd control class. So for example, you have the electrokinetic charge impactor, which hits enemies with electricity, as you would have guessed, and they get staggered very, very effectively. On top of that, you have the boombox ability. Now, what the boombox does is essentially as soon as you put this down, it gets the attention, kind of aggroes all the enemies around it. And then after a certain amount of time, it will blow up, or you can shoot the boombox and make it blow up, and it deals tons of damage, and it will take out a bunch of enemies around it. I really like this ability actually. And then you have another ultimate, which is kind of crazy, right? Like you attach this item to your weapon, to your electrokinetic charge impactor, and it shoots it out, and then you see crazy amounts of lightning strikes hitting the ground, and it really does wipe out whole rooms of enemies. It is pretty strong. You do need to get used to it, because if you place it in a bad position, or if you're too close, you are going to take tons of damage from it, and you can go down. So do keep that in mind. Try to kind of throw it away from you into rooms or something where the enemies are, instead of just dropping it in front of you. Now, when it comes to the mechanical use of this class, you see this kind of lightning sign on the Jump Kit, right? Now, what this does, guys, just like we talked about the melee class, when you see a wrench sign, sometimes you're going to see the lightning sign on items. And with this class, you can run up to it with your electric weapon, and you can charge it instantly to start working, something that other classes cannot do. And they also need to walk up to it and go through with the mini game in order to get the same effect, right? So as you guys can see, both of these classes, melee and the Jump Kit, have the ability to do very specific things that the others can't. Technically, in this game, you want to have all 3 classes when you're playing as a team to get through the missions very, very quickly and not waste time on the mini games. One thing I forgot to mention is that with the Jump Kit, you can actually jump with your electric weapon as well. So all you got to do is like kind of look at the ground, charge up your weapon, and then boom, you let it go and you're going to just fly up in there. It's actually pretty cool. I am working on a build for that as well. And I'm going to be dropping like really cool builds in general. So stay tuned for that. And finally, let's talk about the splash kit. Now, this is very, very interesting because in my opinion, this is the strongest class when it comes to solo play, but in general, even when it comes to team play as well, because it has some incredible support abilities and a very good damage ability as well. So your main element here, as you guys can see, is water. And with this one, you're able to put out fires across the map, and fire is very, very deadly in this game. Out of all the elements, fire will mess you up the most. So to have the ability to kind of not worry about that at all times is insane. On top of that, you can use this on your teammates when they're on fire and so on, and you can just put it out, get rid of the debuffs on your teammates as well, not just yourself. Keep in mind though, when you're not using your ultimate ability, which is the humidifier, you're not going to be healing your teammates. So it's not like a healing weapon. It's more of a weapon that takes care of the debuffs on you and your teammates, and it really does help. However, it can also be used like a highly effective stagger weapon when you charge up your water shots. And even without a charge up, it does really, really well. It also has like a machine gun kind of mode. Once you hold down your right mouse button and then press the left mouse button, it's gonna go crazy with the weapon. It's actually, animation is pretty cool. And it is a very powerful weapon in general. Overall, I think this is the best one. Now, when it comes to the humidifier, this is an absolute game changer. So what this does is you put down a water cylinder, and then what you have to do is shoot the cylinder with your weapon. It charges up pretty quickly, and once that happens, it's gonna start like spraying water all over the place. And as long as you guys are around it, you're gonna be getting fully healed non-stop. The heal is very, very strong, and this ability lasts for a very long time once you put it down. So yes, this is very powerful, both for team play and for solo play as well. It's actually on a completely different level and makes the runs much easier overall. And then we have another super ability, which is the teapot, right? So what this does is this turns your main water weapon into a fire weapon, and now you're just spraying fire or lava or whatever you want to call it. It's actually pretty fun to use as well, and you can cancel any of these supers at any time by pressing this super button once again. Now, another thing that I want to quickly mention is on every class. So for example, you guys see right now that I don't have my heals anymore on this build, right? So what you got to do is you got to go to the ammo room, and once you do complete this mini game fully, right, you got to go all the way here. Boom, you will see that I get it back. So now we can throw down the heal one more time. So that is something to keep in mind. So that this way you can regen your main super ability, which in this case, now the other ultimate, which is on the B button, as you guys can see, which turns the water gun into a flame gun essentially, which is pretty cool, by the way. Right now, this one can regen off of kills, but there is a specific skill you need to equip. Okay, now that we have the understanding of how the classes work, how do we gear our classes up? How do we get the skills, the weapons, all the cool stuff, right? So in order to understand that, we got to talk about requisitions. So requisitions, guys, is going to be these yellow points that you see right above my camera. So you're going to be getting this from any mission runs in general, no matter which difficulty you run on. However, the higher the difficulty, the more you're going to be able to get these points. Now, all of the rest that you see here, these are materials. We're going to get to it here in a minute. So as I said, requisitions you need for everything, skills and gear. The gear, when it comes to weapons and grenades and upgrading them in general, comes from operational essentials. So if you guys have played Helldivers 2, War Bonds is exactly what this is, right? So you're going to be on page 1. You're going to have to spend specific amount of points to move on to page 2. And so on. You make your way to, 4th, 5th, whatever, to the final page where you will see the best versions of these guns. So for example, you will see that we have a machine gun on page 9. But if you go to, let me find it real quick. Yes, page 4 right here, you also have a machine gun. Currently, this is already yellow and level 3 because I've purchased every single of these machine guns. But at the beginning, this is going to say 1 and it's going to be blue. Then you're going to have to unlock the other pages, find the next machine gun right here on the 7th page is the level 2 machine gun. You're going to buy this. Then on the final page, you're going to buy the 3rd machine gun and it's going to become gold and level 3, essentially the strongest version that it can be for you. And that is true for all of the weapons. On top of that, you can do the same for your class abilities. Now, when you start off, you're not even going to have your ultimate abilities, so you got to purchase them, right? And then as you move on, once again, you're going to make all of these things stronger and so on. You can also do the same with the grenades, and the rest when it comes to armor is just for customizations. So essentially skins. That's all it is when it comes to armor. Now, that is not the only thing the requisitions is used for. And now we have to talk about the skills. Now, where the skills come from is the research. You guys can see we've unlocked everything essentially here. As I said, I've been playing too much of this game. It was actually really fun. Like if you enjoy horde shooters, I think you're going to have a blast. When it comes to skill points, as you level up your overall level of your account, currently I am level 49, you are going to be able to get all of these skills. So I believe the highest level requirement for a skill was 48. I don't remember which skill it was exactly. I think it was around this one or something. But essentially, as long as you hit 48, you're going to be able to buy all of these skills. Now, let's talk about one of the skills. For example, athlete. Now, when you spend 5 requisition points, you are going to unlock the skill. However, it's going to be in its weak state. Then it's going to ask you for more. Now, just to showcase, we are going to upgrade this. By the way, the upgrade button is right behind my camera. So what you're going to do is you're going to upgrade this to the next level, which is going to bring it to strong. Now, you will notice that in order to do this, you also need specific materials, the ones that you see up here, and some skills will require different kinds of materials. And this is going to be tied to difficulty, which I'm going to get to here in a minute. Now, for the first upgrade, you're only going to need 5 requisitions, right? For the second upgrade, to make this effect, the sprint for longer effect, much stronger, you're going to need 5 green materials and 10 requisitions. Now, let's say I purchase this, right? Boom, just like that. Now I have the strong version, but this is not where it ends, okay? Then you have the level 3 effect, which is resonant. Now, what this means is that if you do upgrade it to level 3, once you have this equipped, all of your team will benefit from this effect. In this game, the resonant has essentially an area of effect. And as long as your teammates are in that area of effect, they will be benefiting from any perk that you have upgraded to level 3 and equipped correctly. And I'm going to explain what that means here in a second, okay? Now, there is another perk here that says larger resonance field, which you can also upgrade, make super strong, and then you're going to have a bigger radius, which means easier for your teammates to benefit from the said effect. Now, this is the research area. This is where you unlock the skills. However, where you equip the skills is in your loadout. When you go to your class of your choice, then you will see perks. Every class has the ability to equip 9 perks, as you will see right here, perk assignments, and we have like 9 of them. Now, the way they balance this, right? Because if we have 9 slots, you might be thinking, you know what? I'm going to pick up the strongest versions of the skills I like, and I'm going to equip 9 of those. That's what we thought at the beginning, but that's not how it works. If you want to equip, for example, this skill, Jade Rounds, which, by the way, is an incredible skill, bullets have a chance of returning to the barrel once fired in its strong state. You have to equip it twice, okay? So let me showcase that. Let's remove this skill, and now you guys see we have 2 open slots. Now, if I press this once, you will see that I equipped it, but it's only the weak version of the skill. Right above my camera, you'll see that. It says weak. Now, if I press it again, it will take up the second slot, and now it says strong. And if I wanted to have the resonant effect, then I would have to equip it the 3rd time. And this is how they balance the power creep, so to speak, so that you don't equip some of the most broken things back to back to back and just annihilate everything. Which, by the way, once again, I have some incredible builds on the way, so you guys absolutely annihilate maximum difficulty, even if you're a solo player. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Okay, so we talked about the classes, the weapons, how you unlock skills, how you equip skills. Now, let's talk about how you're able to get those materials that I showed you guys, right, in research tab that you need in order to upgrade your character. Now in the main screen, you will see select job, right? And here you are gonna have 5 different options. At first, you're gonna only have the first mission unlocked. And the way the progression works is at the beginning, you can start, when it comes to the threat, I believe, directly from hard or even extreme if you wanted to. Now, keep in mind, the higher you take this, right, the more enemies, obviously, but the more requisitions you're going to be able to pick up. Now, the clearance will always at the start from level 1. So you're not going to be able to do level 2 until you get the clear on level 1. So we started off with hard. I think that it's very possible to start off directly with hard in this game and do the level 1 clearance, level 2, level 3. And essentially what this means is when you do level 1, you're only going to be clearing 1 room of enemies. When you do level 2, a second room is going to be added to the same map. And then level 3, another room is going to be added to the map. And in some cases, there's going to be boss fights as well, which is pretty cool. The way we did it was we cleared, for example, let me show you this one, level 1, level 1, level 1 on hard, right? We did all of that. Then we did level 2s for all of them. And you guys get the point. We moved on to the next difficulty as we unlocked all the levels. Now, the cool thing is that if you do clear level 3, let's say for paper chase, right, which is the second mission, you clear level 3, you're playing on extreme. After that, a 4th difficulty unlocks, which is the corruption. Now, if you pay attention, if I turn off corruption, you will see that I'm not getting the materials I need to get the upgraded versions of the skills. In this case, it's going to be the strips, the vicious strips, right? So if I turn on this to level 1, you will see that, I'm getting lower amounts of these materials. If I turn it all the way up, I'm going to be getting more. Also keep in mind that every mission is tied to a different material. So depending on which skill you want to upgrade first, go for that specific mission. And it's very easy to see which material you're going to be getting. Just click on the mission and it will pop up right away. So technically, as you get stronger, you want to play on the highest level of the clearance, corruption, threat, all of it to get the most when it comes to the drops and so on. However, what does the corruption do? Essentially, guys, this is modifiers. This is like debuffs towards the players. So a lot of the times you'll get faster enemies, right? And they're going to be insane, by the way. They almost like teleport. They're extremely fast and very, very deadly. But you can get rid of these modifiers as you're playing. The way you do that is once you go into a game, once you have the corruption, for example, in the room 1, you're going to get 1 corruption. In the room 2, you're going to get the second. And in the third room, it's going to have 3 total corruptions if you don't get rid of them. On the left part of your screen, you're going to see a purple sign, a duck sign, as you guys can see right here, like this one. And then what corruption it is next to it. So sometimes it will say faster enemies, right? Now, in order to get rid of this corruption, you have to find a specific weapon that is around the map that usually spawns around your ammo rooms. And I'm going to showcase all of that in game as well. And once you pick up that weapon, that is the only way to kill these ducks. And once you kill the duck with the said weapon, you will get rid of the corruption. So this is a very important mechanic to understand, because if you don't take these out sometimes, you will lose. Like some of these modifiers are insane. That a debuff will pop up, right? They'll look at the purple one here. Yes, neutralize riot helmet, increased enemy armor. So that is the debuff that we got for this run. Now, as I said, in order to counter that, you have to find the specific weapon. So right here, we have the healing room. And the way you heal in this game is you shower, okay? So we're going to play this mini game because we don't have the other characters. Right here, you just run in, you shower, it will fully heal you and take off all the debuffs and whatnot. Now, the ammo room will be similar to this, but it will be a red room. Once you find that room, right, what you're going to do is you're going to look at this corner right here. And this is where you're going to find that weapon, that specific weapon that is able to kill the ducks, okay? And that's how you're going to be able to get rid of the debuff. And finally, what I want to showcase is the shelters. These are the other points where you can heal, find ammo, and a lot of like materials and whatnot. You're going to find, I believe, 1 or 2, at least 1, sometimes 2 shelters in every room. And here you will see like heals and whatnot. So in the shelters, right, sometimes you can also find, oh, here it is. Here it is. You can also find the weapons in the shelter. You just run up to these guys. Boom, you kill them. and it will get rid of the debuff, as you guys can see on the top left. You can also find water sources that will heal you. We just run up to this, use, and you will see that my HP on the bottom left will go up. Boom, just like that. You can do this over and over, by the way, in the shelters, which is really, really good. And the skill points look like this. These are the skill points right here, essentially like these books, like classified documents. Sometimes you're going to see them in briefcases, which means you're getting more from one, right? And that's how you farm your skill points, essentially, when you're going through the game. Right here, you see a bigger one. You pick this up. Boom. We get some skill points added. And that is how you progress in this game. You find skill points. You find the materials. Here are some more skill points, or should I call them requisitions? And you pick up these requisitions, as many as possible per run. And then you just finish the mission, upgrade your character, and the circle continues. And then you also have elements within the game when it comes to combat. Now, as I said, for example, if you take a look at the jump kit, it has the electricity effect, right? Now, when you combine electricity with water, you deal more damage overall, and you're going to be clearing easier. So if your teammate has the splash kit and is splashing everything with water, if you use your electric weapon on those enemies, you are going to be getting faster clears. Or even if you use the shock grenade, which in my opinion is the best grenade within the game. Okay, I think we covered everything you need to know to start off with Firebreak pretty effectively. I'm going to be dropping end game builds that make the game so much easier, so stay tuned for that. If you guys did enjoy this one, and only if you did, slap a like, sub to the channel. I also do stream on YouTube and on Twitch, and I would love to see you guys live on stream. As always, stay positive, stay disciplined, and I'll see you all on the next one.